Felix Baumgartner has been given the title of the world's fastest man and a daredevil, owing to his lion-hearted feats. The world knows him as a celebrity skydiver or base jumper, but there's much more to the man than that. During his service to the Austrian military, he familiarized himself with targeted parachute jumping and is now shocking the world with his marvelous and dangerous stunts. As a child, he was always fascinated with flying and skydiving, and he went on to pursue his passions. October 14, 2012 marked the day when the world first witnessed a human being breaking the sound barrier without any vehicular power relative to the surface on his descent being employed. From a staggering height of 38,969.4 meters, the Daredevil smashed through 8 world records and the sound barrier in a span of just 3 hours. At 3:28 p.m. GMT, Felix lifted off from Roswell, New Mexico, filled with determination and adrenaline toward the edge of the atmosphere. This moment took away the breath of over 8 million viewers on YouTube. Within the next few hours, he became the first human being to break the sound barrier in free fall, achieve the highest free fall parachute jump, and achieved the highest free-falling speed, all of which eventually earned him the title of Fearless Felix, and rightfully so. To the world, this jump was not a mere stunt. The $20 million Red Bull Stratus project, which took over 5 years of meticulous planning, marked a scientific breakthrough too, because it also acted as a study to analyze how the human body copes with extreme conditions near space. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin became the first of our species to step onto the moon in 1969. It is perhaps the most uniting moment our planet ever witnessed, as the whole world was tuned into their local news channels in anticipation. For generations to come, Neil Armstrong's words would be recited over and over to highlight this iconic moment our species further transcended the boundaries of science. After multiple failed attempts, backlash from the public, and even loss of life, NASA successfully fulfilled their dream of landing on the moon. What seemed as a highly risky and unattainable accomplishment was now a part of human history. July 20th of 1969 holds immense significance, and Guinness World Records recognizes this. Despite the fact that the organization's core principles no longer consider firsts as an accomplishment, it could not deny the significance of this day, and thus is one of the few exceptional cases established this as a record. Guinness World Records makes occasional exceptions for the most exemplary, most iconic, most revolutionary achievements, and this record would be forever recognized as momentous and outstanding. It indeed was one giant leap for mankind. The past 2 decades mark extraordinary advancements in the arena of architecture and structural engineering. Sky-high buildings became the most observable feature in almost all of the world's prosperous cities today, as people from all over the world sought to witness these commendable monument-like buildings. Every well-to-do nation sought to take people to the sky and raced for sturdier, fancier, and taller cities. In 1996, for instance, Petronas Towers in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia overtook the Sears Towers record as the world's tallest office building. Then in 2003, Taiwan's Taipei 101, also known as the Taipei Financial Center, took the title at an astounding 508 meters. Just 1 year later, construction on the Burj Khalifa began. It was to form part of a new 2 square kilometer flagship development called Downtown Dubai, near the main business district in the UAE. Initially designed to be just 10 meters taller than the Taipei 101, it was eventually built up to be a whopping 310 meters taller. This mountainous property was developed by Amar Properties and the architects Skidmore, Owings and Merrill LLP, headed by the renowned American architect Adrian Smith. Shooting a breathtaking 828 meters into the sky, this new skyscraper came to be described as a vertical city and became an iconic tourist and business destination. Its might is yet to be challenged. Ashrita Furman is a Guinness World Records record breaker. This 64-year-old has set more than 600 records and currently holds over 200, snatching away records from a vast variety of categories. It is still a mystery as to what constantly keeps him motivated to embark on such missions of breaking more GWR records than anyone else, but it could be explained by his childhood dream to become a multiple title holder. Ever since the early 1960s, he has had great fascination with the GWR books, and even today he remains eager to check out the latest additions to the annual publication to see the tallest, strongest, strongest, fastest, and the smartest to walk on Earth. He's known to love networking with people with similar passions and shares his stories in several famous American talk shows. His past endeavors range from bold expeditions up the side of Mount Fuji by pogo stick to spinning mega-large hula hoops around his body. And Furman is determined to keep going. The only thing stopping him, he believes, is limited physical strength. Possessing such determination, who knows what records Furman would have been able to conquer with a little more athleticism. All the same, he continues to seize every opportunity that comes his way, breaking records in nations all over the world. GWR is known for monitoring some very bizarre records set by true daredevils, and there are some feats which any layman person cannot, rather should not attempt. These acts may even be life-threatening or cause permanent damage to a person's mental or physical well-being. One such daring act was pulled off by Shane Holtgren of Australia, also referred to as the Space Cowboy, who managed to set the record for the heaviest weight pulled with eye sockets on the set of Le Show de Record in Milan, Italy. Believe it or not, on April 25, 2009, the Space Cowboy pulled a rickshaw with 3 ladies and over 100 kilograms of metal weights on it, just by using his eye sockets. What seems like a humanly impossible task was carried out by using fish hooks to connect the rickshaw with the lacrimal bones underneath his eyes. As gruesome as it sounds and would have looked, Shane succeeded in being able to pull an astounding amount of weight, 411.65 kilograms or 907.51 pounds, which was way more than his own body weight, thus earning him the record he holds today. Let's face it, the longest fingernails record is not one unheard of. In fact, it is perhaps the most widely associated record with GWR. GWR officials themselves admit that time and time again. The guests, colleagues, and record holders have regarded reading about the initial fingernail records as the most bizarre and popular phenomenon, and this title has also become synonymous with the Guinness brand. There's now an extensive history associated with fingernail growers. The latest addition to this wall of fame is of Lee REDMOND of Salt Lake City, Utah, who carefully nurtured her nails for over 30 years to achieve the title of the longest fingernails on a pair of hands in the female category. We're certain you want to know how long they were, and the answer is this. In 2008, they were at their peak when the nails reached a combined length of 8.65 meters, or 28 feet 4 inches in length. That's as long as a school bus. The longest individual nail was of the right thumb, which grew to a shocking 90 centimeters or 2 feet 11 inches in length. While it's amusing to think of what her exact motivation to set such a record may be, it has an interesting backstory. In 1979, Lee decided to stop filing her nails and was curious to see how long they would grow before they bent out of shape. To her surprise, her nails never began to twist like the other famously long ones, and instead they developed into massive extended arches, likely as a result of her daily, carefully executed manicure procedure. The GWR editor-in-chief Craig Glenday commented on her nails by calling them quite beautiful during an interview. After 19 years of constant care and no filing, Lee was officially awarded the title in 2003, with a total length of 7 meters 51.3 centimeters. Since the inauguration of GWR books, Tallest Man titles have been featured in almost all editions. Nature's genetic mysteries have always fascinated the world, and records continue to get broken as nature continues to surprise us. Norris and Ross McWhirter, the founders of Guinness World Records in 1955, said the only admissible evidence upon the true height of giants is that of recent date made under impartial medical supervision. They went on to dismiss claims for legendary giants such as the biblical Og, king of Bashan, allegedly 9 Assyrian cubits, or 494.03 centimeters tall, citing confusion of units. However, they named Robert Wadlow as the tallest man because of irrefutable evidence. Surprisingly, he was no different to most babies when born, weighing an unremarkable 3.85 kilograms, or 8.7 pounds. He was born to regular-sized parents, too, but nature had different plans for him and decided to defy all science and logic to turn him into a staggering 2.72 meters tall man. As measured in June 1940, by the age of 5, his height had reached over 5 feet 4 inches, and he was already wearing clothes intended for teenagers. Truly nature's marvel. As seen from the other examples, the Guinness World Records family welcomes people from all walks of life with all sorts of talents. So while there's a category for the tallest man, it's not surprising that there's also one for the shortest woman living. One of GWR's most distinctive and best-loved record holders is Jyoti Amji. She was born in December 1993 in Nagpur, central India, and was of average stature until the age of 5, as confirmed by her mother. However, after that point, it was evident that her further growth was being hampered by some kind of a disorder. Later discoveries indicated that she has a form of dwarfism called achondroplasia. which will keep her from growing beyond a certain height. She attended school from the age of 4 alongside regular-sized students, but was provided a customized desk, more suitable for her petite frame. She was first discovered by Fuji TV's Bikuri Chojin 100 Special No. 2 and was measured by doctors on the show. She was found to be just 61.95 centimeters tall, or 2 feet, confirming her as the shortest living teenager. Remarkably, at just 5.4 kilograms, she weighed only 4 kilograms more than her birth weight. GWR has monitored some remarkable animals too. For instance, Himi was recognized back in 1986 as the fattest cat in the world, and Medusa earned fame in 2011 as the longest snake ever in captivity. Since the inception of the Guinness World Records book back in 1955, people from all over the world have loved discovering amazing things about our planet's animals. Today, the world watches with amazement as a Peruvian pooch skateboards into the people's hearts. The amount of popularity Otto the Bulldog has gained over the years has been nothing less than phenomenal. Not only is Otto a social media star, he is also a skillful skateboarder, as he successfully propelled himself through the longest human tunnel. This happened on the celebrations of the Guinness World Records Day in 2015. In his hometown of Lima, Peru, Otto the skateboarding bulldog glided through the legs of 30 people, thus setting his own record. As the guidelines by GWR stated, each person creating the tunnel stood facing the same direction and with their feet apart to allow the talented English bulldog to pass freely underneath without being led or touched in any way. A huge gathering witnessed the 3-year-old dog become a global sensation, and Otto gained his own human paparazzi, with videos of the feat being viewed and circulated by millions of people in news outlets all over the globe. In 2008, American explorers Conrad Anker, Jimmy Chin, and Renan Öztürk first attempted to climb India's legendary Meru Peak via the Shark's Fin as a group, but unfavorable weather conditions forced them to divert their course just 100 meters from the top of the intimidating 21,000-foot summit. Their attempt was just one of the many failed attempts to conquer the Himalayas' most challenging and dangerous peak. Their friendship went way back to when Conrad and Jimmy embarked on a climbing trip together in 2001. The two met Renan in 2005 and decided to take their first mountain in Nepal, and 2008 turned out to be a failed attempt. Shortly after, in 2011, Renan was involved in a serious skiing accident that left him with a broken spine and fractured head, but he nevertheless undertook this endeavor to return to the peak with his team and conquer the summit together. This was less than just 12 months later. After facing 12 days of grueling climbing and life-threatening risks, the trio finally managed to earn the record. This was a great, commendable feat involving tough decisions, serious risks, and godly willpower. Can you think of any world records which are too bizarre in nature? Let us know below.